I first found this book just by accident. They were 5 young people, one woman and 4 men. They set off from England. They put their luggage, only the luggage they could carry, on the car, and they went across to France. And then they went down into Italy, and there they looked at the churches and looked at what was going on there. They had a lot of trouble with break a piston and piston rod, which they welded up. Their major problem really was things like the bullock carts, forcing them off the road, and there were flints in the side of the road, and the flints caused their punctures, and they had to keep sending for new tyres.
Bob presented me with this book, it must have been about 5 years ago, The Alps to the Appennines, and had an idea that maybe this would be a great idea to do it with a steam car. And actually take the main meat of the book, which is visiting the art treasures in Tuscany and Umbria, and condensing that into what would end up by being a true replica of the original trip, and visiting those particular sites.
But the other car, the reason she survived is the body was taken off in 1915. A chap called William Garton owned her from New. I got a photograph of her. And he had her, bought her in 1908, brand new with a new body, just delivered. Also get the explosion from it. The fuel is vaporised by the pilot light and it's fed in there. The free jet. I've got no hair on the back of my hands because it's a petrol explosion. You see, basically you take petrol, you add diesel to make it a bit more explosive. You then pressurise your fuel tanks to 50 psi, which makes it even more explosive. You then take the stuff to underneath your seat, where you burn it 2 feet under your backside, and it really goes. It's in about a 20-inch diameter blow lamp. With 1,580 blue flames on it, all in concentric circles. So what happens sometimes, it goes out and you light it and you've got a lovely petrol-air mixture in there, where it does go with a bit of a bang and gives you just a lovely shave. Right up the arms, sometimes across the side of the head. My father came down one day, because he has a 1906 one, and he had lost half his beard and half his hair also. Quite dramatic, really. Quite nice. Get the feel of it. So the water pipe comes out, there's a filter on the water. But most of the time, most of these cars run on gasoline, which was unrefined petrol, penny a gallon. And that was very cheap and was very good for them. They seem to work well on it. I'm mimicking that by using petrol-diesel mixture. So if I need, say, 10 gallons, I'll put in 2 gallons of diesel and 8 of petrol. That's my driving kit. we all wear top hats. You hear a noisy shit. Yeah,
I was saying the time you drove the car in and couldn't get back out the trailer.
I think we gel fairly well as a group. We have a bit of friction, and that's natural if you put a group of people together. I think the others will probably say that me and Bob spend most of our time arguing, and there's an element of truth there. But it's the old story. We love each other really, so it works quite well, I think.
They came back on a foggy night, a wet foggy night, and they were told to go up the road and take the first right. Well, they did this. They turned into a field, unfortunately, and they couldn't turn back, and they just bogged themselves down in a ploughed field. And they saw a light and a farmhouse. They went across the farmhouse, they stayed the night there, and they were pulled out by horses next day.
But it'd be quite interesting to look and see what the changes are and whether some of the things that are mentioned within the book are still there, and to relive it. But also there'll be a new aspect.
What's interesting is the interplay between the people. I mean, that's the really quite comical situations you find yourself in. I mean, it's just extraordinary, and it's good fun, and it's also the people you meet as well, and what you see. I mean, it has everything. You know, you have a different world, you have different people you meet within the steam car fraternity, and those outside, because of course the steam car draws people in. And our trip to Spain a couple of years ago was fabulous, because we went to the Rioja region, and we just went to this village, and just everybody came around, and there was a wedding there, and the bride was in the car, and it was just, yeah, superb.